are
Welcome,
you?
welcome to the greatest quarantine show out there, Barnegat Football Talk. I know it's not the Visor one that you suggested, but I'm honored to to have you as a guest today. I really am.
Well,
I,
well, thank
I,
you so much for having me. I've been
I
watching
like.
every night. It's been my every night entertainment.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I watch myself too after I get done. I love my show. I love it. What's in your
I
background?
know. I would expect nothing less from you, Coach Davis.
What's in your background? What is that?
So this is one of my blankets my cheerleaders made me. I just set this up, did this setup. But my cheerleaders one year at the end of the year at the banquet, they took all of our cheerleading shirts that we had and made a quilt out of it. And
Very
then
nice.
they made me this pillow too with all of the pictures from nationals that year. This is from 2014.
Oh wow. So your
Yeah.
team did that?
Yeah, my team did this. They did and the parents, they did this and the
Wow.
pillow and I have all of my stuff that they've gotten me over the years.
Well, that must be nice. My football players just say goodbye and I don't see them again. That's incredible. So, hey, when I told people you were coming to the show, you have a fantastic story. I really believe it. You're do it all. You're a football mom, a football wife. You got three beautiful girls, and I love your husband, a guy that I take a lot of pride. Hi, girls, that I brought into the district. One of the best coaches, loyal coaches out there. You've been a teacher, you've been an administrator for 4 years, and currently a principal right now in Brackton Middle School. And one thing that I've really seen you grow and expand the sport of cheerleading, being a cheerleading coach. And we're going to talk about all three of those things today with that. And you got to be proud of all those three categories. That
No,
so?
yes, absolutely. My roots started, with cheerleading and just, everything grew from there.
Great. I believe we all have stories, and you have a great story. I, I've seen you grow so much from a a single teacher to meeting your husband to grow into your family and going into your principal position. And I'm not even talking about the cheerleading coaching thing, which is a fantastic. I mean, what you have done with cheerleading throughout the state and nationally has been tremendous. And a lot of my buddies' wives who are coaches, like Coach Versillo's wife, Lacey, she raves about you. She really
Oh.
does, and that's awesome that that's stuff going on. We are going to hit that in a little bit. What are you doing quarantining at your house?
Uh, Quarantining. So what am I not doing? So as you know, everything is virtual now. So it's a lot of screen time on the computer, doing Google Meets and Zooms and, helping my own kids with their schoolwork and, just trying to manage it all. So it's been a bit chaotic. It's kind of surreal still that we are going through this right now. And it's scary, just like going out when you have to go out to the grocery store and seeing everybody with their masks on and gloves on. It's, pretty scary.
I actually been told I look better with a mask on, so it might be a new world for me. I like it. Yeah, honestly, seriously. But quarantine. It's crazy, and you care about the kids as well as I do, and knowing that they're okay because we communicate on social media. I do with Google Classroom, social media here, and the kids are doing all right. I'm very proud of the community of Barnegat, and of course also our school district too. Here's what I want to do. I want to talk a little bit about your storyline.
Okay.
First, you were a teacher, and we'll talk about that. And you were while you got hired, you were a cheerleading coach. I remember Mr. Germano telling me you and this cheerleading coach are going to hit it off and be great for the next couple of years right there. And you know what? You were fantastic. I mean, what you do, not just only on football games, but all your events. My girls, my little daughter, love your cheerleaders. Love your cheerleaders, and they mimic them. And you guys are great role models. And I have so much respect for how much you guys do into your routines, having the girls in our classes too, and just tremendous stories on how they performed nationally on ESPN too. And then from there, you became a VP in Brackman, and then your current principal state right now at Brackman. Take us to when you got hired at Barnegat to where you are right now. I know you can't talk so much about it, but give us a little bit of a info of each step that went through.
Sure. So it was March of my senior year in college. I was at High Point University in High Point, North Carolina. And my mom had called me. She's like, Shan, that new high school, Barnegat High School, is opening up next year. They're looking for a cheerleading coach. My friend told me, like, throw together your cheer resume and do that. I'm like, no, that'll be fun. I had plans that summer. I had an internship lined up with the FBI. I wanted to go in the FBI. I had no intentions of ever being a teacher, ever being a cheerleading coach or administrator, for that matter. So a couple weeks later, my mom called me, and my major was computers, forensic computing. So she's like, Shen, they're looking for a computer teacher. Mom, I'm not going to be a computer teacher. She's like, oh, just give me your resume. So I handed along my resume. Next thing I know, Dr. Saxton called me up. He's like, hey, Dr. Saxton. At the time, he was Mr. Saxton. He said, we're doing interviews for a computer teacher and cheerleading coach. I'd like to interview you tomorrow. Can you come in? So I said, I'm in North Carolina right now, so I don't know how I'm going to get there. He's like, all right, we can do a phone interview. Email me a picture so I know who I'm talking to. So I call my mom right away. I'm like, I have an interview tomorrow. She goes, go to the airport now and fly home. So
Really?
I got a flight. Yep, I got a flight. I called Dr. Saxton. I said, hey, listen, I'm flying home. I'll be able to be there. So I could remember exactly to this day what I wore. And, I remember it was pouring rain out as I'm walking into the Edwards School to interview. And Janet Park was there as a secretary, Joe Saxton, and Rich Kane was there, who was the, first athletic director. So I walked in, I interviewed. Joe's asking me all these things about teaching. And, if you don't go to school for teaching, you don't know all these terms. So I answered the best I could. And then Rich was talking to me about cheerleading. And I just, I was hitting all those because cheerleading was, who I was. I cheered my entire life. So Joe said to me, he's like, since you are so quick to respond to us and come up here, we'll be quick in responding to you and letting you know. So I was driving to my mom's school to go see her. And as I pulled up in the parking lot, Joe had called me. He's like, all right, you're going to have to go back to school, take courses over the summer, do the alternate route and, take this practice exam and blah, blah, blah. He's like, we'd like to offer you the job. I'm like, seriously? So yeah, it's kind of crazy and it kind of all didn't make sense as I was going through it. And, so my mom was so excited and thrilled because that meant I was coming back home, because I always said I'm never coming back to Jersey. And, so I flew back down the next day and told all my roommates, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be a teacher. They're like, a teacher? Really? I'm like, yeah, like I'm going to have my own class and crazy, right? It's just crazy how my career path just went the wrong way. So at the time, none of it made sense. But looking back now, all the dots connected. You and I are talking right now because that happened. So I started at Barnegat High School, and I remember you were one of the first people that I met, and you kind of took me under your wing, and you said, anything you need, let me know. I'm here to help. And, you were always including our cheerleaders, and, we built that relationship, which relationship building is the foundation of success in anything you do in life. So, I'm very thankful for that and, the Barnegat community. And it was amazing building a program from the bottom up. We started in 2004 with freshmen only. I had 16 girls on my team and, what we grew that to and what we took that to. I remember I was like, I can't wait till the day till I'm saying like, everybody do your back handsprings, which turned into like a team of doing pull-ups many years later.
Shannon,
Yeah.
one thing I say is why I say things like that, because it's important for me to be successful, you to be successful, or you or someone else to be successful. And that's what we did at Barnegat. We made sure everybody was successful, so ultimately the kids were successful. And
Exactly.
looking at you from day one to where you are now, it's making me smile. I never would have predicted you where you're at, but keep going. I'm sorry, I just had to interject.
Yeah, no, you're right. But that is like, you have to support one another. It's about being a team, building those relationships, celebrating each other's successes and picking each other up, when you're down. And that's how we become successful. I say it time and time again, Barnegat has accomplished more in its existence than other schools have in all like their time that they've been there, So it's pretty amazing the things that we have accomplished and where we have, taken all of our programs from 2004 to now. So yeah, we started the cheerleading program from ground up. Our second year the school was open, I took the girls to nationals in Dallas, Texas. We were an NCAA style team, which there's two different, NCAA, UCA.
How did you know, Shannon, how did you know about nationals? Did you know that before you were at Barnegat?
Oh yeah, when I cheered and I was in high school, yeah. So I mean, nationals, Nationals, Rob, is the Super Bowl of cheerleading. Okay.
That's stuff we don't need to
I'll
talk
put
about
it in your
live
quotes.
on Instagram, but yes.
Okay. So yeah, so we went to Dallas those first 2 years. It was 2005, 2006, and then in 2000, it was the 2008-9 year. Coach Froberg, she's now Coach Scally, she came on board with me, and that was part of our transition to UCA. And we ended up competing that year. We earned a bid at regionals in Toms River to nationals, and that was our first year at nationals. So our goal that year was just to get down there, and that was the first year that we changed our style of cheerleading from NCA to UCA. So, we didn't make it out of prelims that first year, but it was such an amazing experience. So the next year we prepped all year long, and our goal was to make it to semifinals. So this was the 2009-10 school year. So all year long, we just worked really, really hard at cleaning our routine. We did not have the most difficult routine out there, but my girls were sharp. They were clean. They worked hard. Here's Olivia. Say hi. Yeah, so we went down there, and I will never forget. We were at large varsity D2, and we performed in semifinals. They did great. They hit the routine, and we're sitting there waiting. You wait for announcements, and they announce all the semifinalists. So we're sitting there waiting for our name to get called, waiting for our name to get called. All of a sudden, they called us. We were jumping up and down. We could not believe, that we made it, and we were going on to semifinals. So when you go, you have to go back behind the tent. You have to pick a number, and that's the draw of to where you're going to perform, what order. So I picked it. We were number 3 to go on. So we had to hurry up and run backstage, do our warm up, go through the whole thing. So we perform, and we had to speed up our cheer because we were a little over time. So they made us speed up our cheer. So we're sitting back there. It's all right. Hold it up, huh? Okay. Our little blanket. So we had to speed it up, practicing. They go out, they hit another perfect routine. I'm like, all right, listen, it's out of our hands now. We hit our goal. Our goal was just to get to semifinals. That's all we wanted. So Olivia's showing you our new bunny.
Hello.
So all of a sudden, we're sitting there waiting for them to announce the finalists. They call us. We are crying. We're jumping up and down. And I go back. I have to pull my number for finals the next day, and I get my score sheets. And I see the score sheets. We were in first place coming out of semifinals. I came running back to my girls, and 2 people in UCA, Joe Cooper and Jerry, who runs the camps in the summertime, they said to me, they were like, we will never forget you, like hopping over mats, running back to your team to tell them running first. Like, you will not, guess what? We're in first place.
So that's what
so
they do. They give you where you're at currently.
Yeah, so they show you the rankings and where everybody scores and how close. So we already had 2 teams that advanced straight to finals, but from our semifinalist panel, we were first going into that. From semis. So it was so cool. So then, we had finals. I'm like, girls, we have nothing to lose. We've never been here before. Just go out, perform to the best of your ability, and it is what it is. What?
After this, can we go to my mom's house?
We can't go to my mom's, honey. Okay? Okay. I'll think about it. Okay? Sorry. Mom life. See, this is all day. So we performed. They had a great routine. We're all so happy. So we're sitting in the horseshoe at finals, and they're announcing, and I still have this on video. So they're counting down, the teams, and they start in 10th place, and we're like, waiting for them to call our name. They don't. Then 7th, then our 9th, 8th. At 8th place, they say, and this is an up and coming team. We're like, oh my gosh, we got 8th, and they don't call our name. And you hear me, I'm going, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And they go to 7th, and then they go to 6th, and they don't call us. And I'm screaming. I'm like, oh my gosh, we are top 5 in the nation. This is insane. And then they still don't call us, and then they called us 3rd in the nation, Barnegat High School. And it was just the most amazing feeling because I never expected that. Our 2nd year down there, and it's just, it truly shows that, like, anything's possible when you believe. And that's what I would tell my girls all the time. Like, perform to the best of your ability because we can only control us. You can't control what the other teams do.
That's been your motto, believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, believe. I remember that. Believe.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's obvious when you're grinning. I'm talking about your days coaching. Now I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in. Now, when you had a